Massive congratulations to the SAS team and Hugo for putting that together. It's hard to follow. My name's Adam Hall. I'm head of sustainability for Surfdome. We're Europe's largest action sports retailer. Now, Surfdome, to us, the environment is particularly important. We're engaged in the sports that rely on the great outdoors and the natural environment, in particular the ocean sports. And it's important to our customers as well. Our customers are predominantly in the oceans, they're on the mountains, they're in the outdoors. So actually having a pristine environment is massively important to us. But I'm going to talk about, there was a lovely picture that comes up, and just to explain how it's important that all the elements within the environment coming together is massively important to the moments that matter for us to enjoy our sports. And it's a whole range of different elements that come together. I'm going to use surfing because that's one of the key elements that we actually use. We support at Surfdome. And there's so many elements that need to come together, that deep ocean swell, a functioning ocean. We need functioning reef systems to actually create the beautiful waves that actually we surf. We need a functioning ecosystem up in the mountains to prevent fresh water from running off and killing that wave. And we need a weather system that actually grooms those waves with nice offshore winds. All those elements need to come together for us to actually enjoy the sport that we love. As soon as one of those elements actually breaks down, that sport begins to break down, that enjoyment begins to break down. And for us as a business, we're not asked by that person who's enjoying that sport for a surfboard, for a leash, for a pair of board shorts. But I want to talk to you about empowerment and how we can actually take this into our own hands in our daily lives. Now, it's often bounded around, and we've all heard about it. Voting with our wallets. I want to take that to another level, because actually we all have much more influence than that, than actually voting with our wallets. We all work in certain places. We all talk to other people. We have family members who are influential. And let's start talking about this. Let's start generating these conversations. And we need to look at actually everything that we do purchase. And we need to look at, and I'm going to remind myself here, so bear with me, you can't see this. There's lots of rules. That was such a cool picture I was going to show you. There's some few rules that we can go through every time we go to the shop, every time we make a decision. Number one, do I need it? Do you need to buy that thing that's gone through a carbon-intensive process that's going to potentially plague the planet for long after you've gone? So do I need it in the first place? How was it made? Was it made using toxic chemicals? Was it made using child labour, perhaps? What is it made of? Is it made of toxic chemicals again? Is it made of something that will biodegrade? Is it made of something that can be recycled? What is it packaged in? We've spoken a lot about plastic packaging. How is it transported? Has it done 12 loops around the planet before it came to you? Is that unnecessary? Can you buy local? And what happens to its end of life? That's often overlooked. Is there a value to somebody else? Can you hand it down? So it's just looking at that product that you're going to buy and really think about it. Now, what we've done at Surfdome, again, there's a lovely, pretty picture that I'm looking at and you're not. In the age of technology, there is no excuse now for you to actually just say, well, I didn't know. Because actually everything you buy, there is information out there. If there's not, there's probably a good reason for it. And what we've done at Surfdome is we've actually created a sustainable focused gear listing to actually make it easier for you. Now, you'll find lots of responsible companies are beginning to do that, and they're beginning to put green leaves or a nice pretty planet next to it. Look out for it. Now, I'm going to talk to you about Surfdome and what Surfdome has done. Again, lots of pretty pictures here that you will be seeing. And just for the reason that, just to prove that it can be done and you can choose companies like us for what you actually do. Now, we've done all the standard things that you'd expect from a company looking at sustainability. Our warehouses are run on 100% renewable energy. We use responsible cleaning fluids throughout our business. We have 100% recycling rates for cardboard and plastic in our warehouse. We've banned the plastic bottle in our offices. Probably the biggest impact that we have, we deal with about 500 brands. And actually what we're doing is we're beginning to speak to those brands and talk to them about what they're doing. So suddenly our sphere of influence is actually becoming greater, which is, again, what I'm talking to you about. Maybe there's a workplace that you're at that you can actually start influencing other businesses. We've been part of the New Plastic Economy, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, which is an amazing initiative to actually rethink the economy of plastics. We sponsored with Hugo at SAS a phenomenal conference called the Global Wave Conference. It was a really great conference. It's had lots of different spin-offs that we were discussing earlier. If you ever get down to the Eden Project, go and have a look. We've got an eco-surf exhibit where we're actually promoting specific products that have a really good sustainable record. There's actually a few products that's actually outside that we're talking about there as well. And we actually endorse and support green products. We've actually been really privileged in our marketplace that there's a really engaged audience about this, and there's a want and there's a need for sustainable products. So we've actually been part of actually encouraging them. That there's a classic example which I'd encourage you to go and have a look at. Again, there is the picture of a Bureo skateboard, which is made from recycled fishing nets that are collected off the coast of Chile, and we were the first organisation to actually bring those into Europe. We also support the EcoBoard project. That's surfboards made in a much more sustainable manner. There's one actually outside. Go and have a look. We're going to go into the break in a moment. But I want to talk to you about our headline sustainability strategy. And the reason I want to talk to you about this is because I want to outline the fact that it can be done. And it can be done very well, and it can be very positive for a business, and it can be very positive for the customers. Now, we've got an environmental strategy that is as simple as a 1, 2, 3 approach. Number one, now this is all based around marine plastic. It's the key issue for our customer base, and coincidentally, it's the biggest influence that we can have as a business. Now, it's firstly based, number one, is around awareness. We supported an initiative called the Plastic Project, which is a series of content that takes the consumer, or the viewer on the journey through surf adventure travel to remote locations, all the while highlighting the fact that these remote locations are directly affected by marine litter. So that's number one, awareness. Number two is an empowerment, which we're talking about today. And that's the 2-minute beach clean. Now, the 2-minute beach clean, I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. Martin Dorey was going to be here, to apologise. He's the founder of 2-minute beach clean. But this is empowerment, means that it just says to everybody, when you go to the beach, you don't have to clean the entire beach. You don't have to solve the entire marine plastic crisis, but you just take 2 minutes to do a bit of cleaning every time you go to the beach. And both of those lead into the third point, which is action. We're an action sports retailer, and we just took action. What have we done? Okay, let's rattle through this. Okay, so we eliminated 0.39 tonnes of plastic through switching to refillable toner cartridges in our warehouse. We switched to 100% recycled paper void filling, eliminating a further 2.5 tonnes of plastic. We eliminated a further 1.22 tonnes by switching to gum tape rather than plastic tape. Just consider that for a moment, 1.22 tonnes in plastic tape. And we eliminated a whacking 9.72 tonnes of plastic by switching from poly mailing bags to 100% recycled cardboard boxes. That's the equivalent of, that's the 14 tonnes a year annually that we've actually saved in plastic. Now, that's the equivalent in year 2, we're in the second year of the project, of 1.2 million 500ml plastic bottles that we've eliminated from circulation, which is great, until I heard a fact that actually we use 1 million plastic bottles every minute at the moment. So we've only accounted for 1 minute per year. But hey, it's something. I want to talk to you about how our customer responses have been. There's a classic quote from one of our key brands, and doing good is good for business. That's from Patagonia, the founder of Patagonia. It's certainly been the case for us. At one stage, and I was going to show you lots and lots of pictures of social media, 2/3 of our social media conversations were around our sustainability efforts. We had a new social media manager at the time who's completely confused that everybody was talking about cardboard boxes. I was very pleased. And also, beyond that, we've actually been recognised for our efforts. and for the reasons that I'll come on to after this, but we've been recognised by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation's New Plastic Economy, and we've had a quote in their document, which was actually presented to the World Economic Forum. I always forget what they're called, so I do need to bring this up. We're also a case study for the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, which has meant that we're getting recognised on a global scale. So just to recap, we've eliminated the equivalent of 1.2 million plastic bottles from circulation. It's been hugely positive PR through our customer base and actually on the broader global movement scale. And actually, we've saved money doing it. So actually, what I want to say to you is empowerment, that there are companies out there that are doing this type of thing. Search them out. Support them. Why wouldn't you? Okay, Martin's not here, so I'm going to talk to you about the 2-minute beach clean. He does send his apologies, but the 2-minute beach clean has been fundamental to our campaign. We've been supporting the 2-minute beach clean movement since day one. So I'm probably second best to talk about it. Actually, no, there's probably a few more in the 2-minute beach team that would be better. It's one of the fastest growing beach clean networks in the world, and it's back again to empowerment about every time you go to the beach. We tend to find if you hammer people with the scale of the problem, people just get so overwhelmed, they just switch off, they can't cope. The 2-minute beach clean is great at actually just saying, well, hey, just do what you can. And that's been really powerful for us, and it's been really powerful for the 2-minute beach clean. And it's based on the fact that every piece matters. You're not going to solve the marine plastic crisis on your own, but actually every piece of marine litter that you take off that beach doesn't go on to strangle a seabird. It doesn't go on to kill a colony of fish through its toxicness. So every piece matters. And it has 3 prongs to the 2-minute beach clean. Number 1, community. Again, a lovely picture of Martin actually cleaning the beach on his own. The way it was founded is Martin goes along to the organised beach cleans, but became frustrated that he couldn't go to them all. So what he did is he started cleaning the beach on his own and using a hashtag, 2-minute beach clean, and actually started finding that all these different people started joining in with this hashtag. I've got a great picture of a global map that just shows you all the different places around the world that have started using the hashtag. One of them's Kazakhstan, which is landlocked, which is quite confusing. But they're all around the world. And part of that community is now a 20,000 strong Instagram following and social media following. It's housed on social media, and it's almost its own beast, if you like. So that's the first point, community. The second point is the beach clean boards. The beach clean boards. They are simple, very simple A-boards that have a litter pickers and bags for people to actually go and collect and actually do their own 2-minute beach cleans. And also it raises awareness on a beach. We now have over nearly 400 beach clean boards throughout the UK and Ireland, which is amazing because the trial board actually had a 61% reduction in marine litter on that beach it was housed. So, I mean, if even some of those boards are making half of that, it would be amazing. Okay, and then the last point is the app. Now, this isn't actually launched yet, but this is a citizen science project where it's an app for 2-minute beach cleaners to actually start collecting data on the marine litter that they gather, so we can start to see patterns, so we can actually come up with solutions. Now, I can't play the video, can I? Because it's here. I would show you the video, but it's coming out soon, and it's very simple, and basically it just means that we can start collecting data, see patterns, tackle the problems. For example, if there's plastic bottles predominantly on one beach, maybe there's an issue with the local bins. If there's nurdles on another beach, then there's an issue with local industry. So I'd encourage you on the 11th of November to go and have a look at that in your app store.